Hello, good morning, children. This is Samjay Ramzan Mek. I am going to teach you now ninth class English, second unit of lesson. Second unit is named as Games and Sports. So, in this games and sports, children, you open your textbook and see the face sheet which is given to you. Face sheet. One statement is given here. I am going to read it out. You see that a dream, and dream high. For dreams lead to thoughts, and thoughts lead to actions. So wonderful statement this is. First of all, we have to dream. That dreams lead to thoughts. That thoughts only lead to actions. Then we will fulfill our goal and our aim also. Then it is possible to achieve this aim and our goal. So in games and sports, how they both are interlinked. Generally, children, you see, the sportsmen and the people those are very interested to play games, there will be some goal, they will have some goal and aim also here. So they would have some spirit of a game and spirit of victory. So always they think about that their goal to win. So that is why here the best statement is given to you. By reading this, you can also write a discourse. Actually, a speech is given to you, but you may write in the writing form that it is in paragraph wise. The title is given to you, The Dream of My Life, and how I am going to achieve it. You write about this. Actually, you have to give the speech, but you prepare the speech, and later somewhere you can have the choice of speaking. That it is a dream of my life and how I am going to achieve it. How you are going to achieve it, you write about it or you give the speech. Now let me come to that A lesson, True Height. It is written by David Nastor. This is a good lesson, nice information given and an encouragement to the sportive people. Those are very interested in, those who wish to get that success and a victory in their life. So that is why this is the lesson given to you. Let me come, all of you get ready with the textbook. I am going to read out. This story talks about the feelings of an athlete as he pursues his dream. Read about a nerve-wracking day in Michael Stone's life as he prepares to take the ultimate test of his sports career. It is an awe-inspiring achievement that will leave you breathless. Here, this is the story about Michael Stone's life, who is a great sportsman, and how he achieved in his life. That it is here given here, and that will. Here is one word. He says that it is awe-inspiring achievement. It is. So, what interest he showed, how he did hard work, Michael Stones, and how he became great person. These are the things we are going to know in this story. Now, let me come to the lesson. The first paragraph begins with you saying, Michael Stone is going to, not he is going to explain here, a writer is going to say about this sportsman. And in the beginning, you see that his palms were sweating. Whose palms were sweating? You think here. He needed a towel to dry his grip. A glass of ice water quenched his thirst, but hardly cooled his intensity. The astroturf he sat on was as hot as the competition he faced today at the National Junior Olympics. The pole was set at 17 feet. That was 3 inches higher than his personal best. Michael Stone confronted the most challenging day of his pole vaulting career. The stands were still filled with about 20,000 people, even though the final race had ended an hour earlier. The final race in Olympics, it was ended with before 1 hour, before an hour only. That is the National Junior Olympics Games, that one. And writer is going to give the information. 20,000 people here, about 20,000 people were watching this. And pole vault, it is a game, pole vault. The pole vault is a sport in which we use a long pole to swim over a high barrier. So that it is a pole vault, taking the pole, thin pole, and they jump over some barriers. This is a pole vault sport. A picture is also given to you here. Pictures, small pictures also given to you. It is a sport. So that man, that young boy, he was participating then in National Junior Olympics, and he was getting sweat, and he needed a towel to what purpose, to dry his grip. So this was the tension of that boy who is participating in National Junior Olympics. The mindset, psychological feeling, it is explained here. Next you come to that. The pole vault is truly the glamorous event of any track and field competition. The sportsman combines the grace of a gymnast with the strength of a bodybuilder. Pole vaulting also has the element of flying, and the thought of flying as high as a two-storied building is a mere fantasy to anyone watching such an event. Today, it is not only Michael Stone's reality and a dream, it is his quest. So he fulfilled his quest. So this is not possible for the common people. So pole vault is truly the glamorous event. It is. The writer says it is a glamorous event. Not only that, event of any track and field competition. So in the field competitions, we can see that this is a glamorous event. And that sportsman, he should combine the grace of a gymnast, not only that with the strength of bodybuilder. Both these, including for the sportsman, it is possible to get success here. So not only thought of flying here, and not only it is the element of flying, it is also thought of flying, that the sportsman should have the thoughts, ideas which they fly over. So really also he has to fly over. Both are the things here, not only in flying, but his thoughts also should fly. Then only it is possible. Next paragraph. As long as Michael could remember, he had always dreamed of flying. Michael's mother read him numerous stories about flying when he was growing up. Her stories were always the ones that described the land from a bird's eye view. It is a phrase used, that bird's eye view. Her excitement and passion for details made Michael's dreams full of color and beauty. Michael had this one recurring dream. He would be running down a country road. He could feel the rocks and chunks of dirt at his feet. As he raced down the golden lined wheat fields, he would always outrun the locomotives passing by. He would begin soaring like an eagle. So he practiced like this here. His mother used to tell the stories of that flying stories, and about flying. Always she tells the stories of flying, and by listening to this, always imagines in his imagination. He thinks how, and he would expect that just like a bird view, as a bird flies in the sky, it views downwards. So his thoughts were also like that only as a boy. And next you see that where he flew would always coincide with his mother's stories. His dad, on the other hand, was not a dreamer. Bert Stone was a hardcore realist. He believed in hard work and sweat. His motto, if you want something, work for it. But here you see that father is indifferent. He did not believe in the stories, just he wanted to do that reality. So that his principal was father name is given here, Bert Stone. And that father, he says, if you want something, work for it. This is always his principle, father principle, this is. So father is not a dreamer. He is a realistic person. Next you see that from the age of 14, Michael did just that. He began a very careful and regimented weightlifting program. Then he worked out every other day with weights, with some kind of running work on alternate days. The program was carefully monitored by Michael's coach and trainer and father. Michael's dedication, determination, and discipline was a coach's dream. Who do you think coach here? Here coach is his father only. And he gives the coaching and is the trainer. And here what kind of things here are there. Michael's dedication is there, determination is there, and discipline also is there. Both of these three things, these three things are learned by his father. Children, now come to the next page here. Paragraph, you see that next page, that is page number 28. Besides being an honest student, Michael Stone continued to help his parents with their farm chores. Michael's persistence, his striving for perfection was not only his obsession but his passion. He has some desire. Passion means some desire. So this is his striving, that is struggling and fighting for that success. Next you see that Mildred Stone, Michael's mother, wished that he could relax a bit more and be that free dreaming little boy. On one occasion, she attempted to talk to him and his father about this, but his dad quickly interrupted, smiled, and said, "You want something, work for it." So this is a father's motto. When mother gave that idea of the pole vaulting and some other sports, father said, "When you want something, work for it." He smiled and said like this. All of Michael's vaults today seem to be the reward for his hard work. If Michael Stone was surprised, thrilled, or arrogant about clearing the bar at 17 feet, you could not tell. As soon as he landed on the inflated landing mat and with the crowd on its feet, Michael immediately began preparing for his next attempt at flight. He seemed oblivious of the fact that he had just surpassed his personal best by 3 inches and that he was one of the final 2 competitors in the pole vaulting event at the National Junior Olympics. So there are other 2 people are there in junior level, and in that pole vaulting competition 2 other competitors are there, and he wanted to just 3 inches difference, he got it there. Now he has in his idea what he thought. Let us see. Michael cleared the bar at 17 feet and 2 inches and 17 feet 4 inches. Again he showed no emotion. 2 times he did it, but he had no emotion. Constant preparation and determination were his vision. As he lay on his back and heard the crowd of groan, he knew the other vaulter had missed his final jump. He knew it was a time for his final jump. Since the other vaulter had fewer misses, Michael needed to clear this vault to win. A miss would get him second place, nothing to be ashamed of, but Michael would not allow himself the thought of not winning first place. So I see that his other competitors they're doing the thing, and he could get the second place, but his mind not accepts to get the second place. He wanted to get the first place at the moment in the field when he was participating. And next what he did is that he rolled over and did his ritual of 3 finger-tipped push-ups. 3 fingertips with the feet. He push-ups he did here. He found his pole, stood and stepped on the runway that led to the most challenging event of his 17-year-old life. So then he was a 17-year-old, and he was a very anxious and he was a very interested person. The runway means a track of that felt different this time. It started him for a brief moment, then it all hit him like a wet bale of hay. The bar was set at 9 inches higher than his personal best. That is only 1 inch of the national record. And he thought the intensity of the moment filled his mind with anxiety. He began shaking off the tension from his body. It was not working. He became more tense. Why is this happening to me now? He thought. He began to get nervous. Fear would be a more accurate description. What was he going to do? He had never experienced these feelings. Then out of nowhere and from the deepest depths of his soul, he envisioned his mother. Why now? What was his mother doing in his thoughts at a time like this? And it was simple. His mother always used to tell him whenever he felt tense, anxious, or even scared to take deep breaths. So, mother, once upon a time, she used to tell these words. Whenever you get anxious or tense, anxious or even scared, just take deep breaths. Then children, it is possible to do the good thing when we feel some tense here. He was intense. So last moment, finally in that participation, he was feeling nervous. So he envisioned his mother, and in that thoughts, he could think like this: "Yeah, what would my mother she does?" And he only got answer that his mother would say like this: "Yeah, whenever I get tense, then take the breath, deep breath." He did like this here. So he did along with shaking the tension from legs. He gently laid his pole at his feet. He began to stretch out his arm and upper body. Then the light breeze that was once there was now gone. He could feel a trickle of cold sweat running down his back. He carefully picked up his pole. He felt his heart pounding. He was sure the crowd did too. The silence was deafening. When he heard the singing of some distant robins in flight, he knew it was his time to fly. So this imagination, all these were his imaginations, and it was the time to fly, he thought. In distant, he began to hear or listen the song of the bird here. As he began springing down the runway, something felt wonderfully different, yet familiar. The surface below him felt like the country road he used to dream about. The rocks and chunks of dirt, the visions of the golden wheat fields seemed to fill his thoughts. So he went back. His thoughts went back when he practiced this pole running and some other activities, and his roadways and so many fields which he faced. All these he imagined here. Then, when he took a deep breath, it happened. What happened? See that he began to fly. His takeoff was effortless. That is, Michael Stone was flying just as in his childhood dreams. Only this time he knew he wasn't dreaming. Really, this is the situation of a sportsman, a real sportsman. He thought this is not a dream. This is I'm going to do really. This was real. Everything seemed to be moving in slow motion. The air around him was the purest and freshest he had ever sensed. Michael was soaring with the majesty of an eagle. So he was soaring. He was giving the sound just like a roaring eagle which flies in the sky. It was either the eruption of the people in the stands or the thump of his landing that brought Michael back to earth. On his back, with that wonderful hot sun on his face, he could only envision the smile on his mother's face. He knew his dad was probably smiling too, even laughing, but would always do that when he got excited, smile, and then sort of giggle. When what he didn't know was that his dad was hugging his wife and crying. He was crying harder than Mildred had ever seen before. She also knew he was crying the greatest tears of all, tears of pride. So father, he was always strong in his mind, but this time when he knew his son did that, his son achieved the goal in pole vaulting, he hugged his wife and he was crying. Next is that Michael was immediately swarmed with the people begging, hugging and congratulating him on the greatest accomplishment of his life. He later went on that day so clear 17 feet 6.5 inches and national and international junior Olympics record. With all the media attention and heartfelt congratulations, Michael's life would never be the same. It was not just because he won the national junior Olympics and set a new world record, and it was not because he had just increased his personal best by 9.5 inches. It was simply because of that Michael Stone was blind. Children, you see that now end of this story we came to know that sportsman was a blind 17-year-old man, but he got success in National Junior Olympics. That was the spirit of the sportsman. Written by David Nost. Children, let us come to the next lesson in the next video.